Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am the usual host and presenter, Advocate Tulohoyane. MALESELA TEFFO is set to appear before Parliament's ad hoc committee that is conducting a parallel investigation into the explosive disclosures made by General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi on the 6th of July. Therefore, appears on the list of witnesses. I think on the list of witnesses that I saw of something like 22 people, he is listed as number 13 in that list. But it has not become very clear whether the ad hoc committee will stick to that list of witnesses as I saw it or as it appears on various social media and mainstream media platforms, or whether they will juggle it around and call them in some other order. But the fact of the matter is, therefore, will be appearing before the ad hoc committee. Now, the appearance of Teffo there is very significant because MALESELA TEFFO has been making a lot of allegations and counter-allegations about what really happened in the Khumalo house on the 26th of October 2014 when Senzo Meyiwa was killed and eventually died. So we are hoping that his appearance there will, among other things, challenge the version of 636. Because you'll recall that Teffo has from the very beginning been challenging the version that is unfolding in the Pretoria High Court now, the version of docket 636. And to his credit, it was Teffo, in the first Chifiwa Maumela trial, who brought to our attention the existence of a parallel docket 375. Now, what is Teffo likely to testify about there? Teffo is likely to, one, to refute all that is to be found in docket 636. He is going to say that docket 636, like he has always maintained, is a fabrication, that there be no intruders into that house, and that, the intruder story was a manufactured version to disguise or to, remove from public scrutiny the people in the house, because it is Teffo's fervent belief that the people in the house had something to do with the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. Specifically that the gun that eventually shot Senzo Meyiwa, he insists it was a .38 special revolver. And Teffo has always been insisting that that gun was brought to that house by Longo Twala. Belonged to Longo Twala. Allegedly Longo Twala had stolen that firearm from his father. But in the days leading up to the shooting and killing of Senzo Meyiwa, it would appear that Longo and Zandi Khumalo, who were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time, were beat and strangled. So Longo was all over the place looking for Zandi until he ended up locating Zandi at her home in Vosloorus, and that is how Longo ended up joining the rest of the people who were gathered there, having the drinks that they are reported to be heavy. Now, upon his arrival there, it looks like Longo Twala was very enraged when he saw these two friends of Senzo that he never knew. These were Tumelo Matala and Mtokozisi, who were from KZN. So Longo suspected that there was an affair going on between one of them, at least, and Zandi, who had been avoiding him for quite some time, for close to about a week or so. So one of the things that Longwa is reported to have done while he was in that house, according to the version that Teffo has been telling us, Longwa then fired a firearm into the floor. Right in front of everybody, Longwa took out that firearm to try and scare these two people. That firearm then, the bullet then went into the floor. When that happened, he was then prevailed upon by Senzo Meyiwa to leave the house, and Senzo ushered him out of the house and ended up dispossessing him of that firearm. That firearm, the version of Teffo goes, was later handed to Kelly Kumalo. And Kelly Kumalo, in some kind of show of, disposition or attitude, started playing with the firearm, and the firearm then fired, or accidentally fired. And that was the fatal bullet that took Senzo's life. So that is the version that we have before, that we are likely to hear rather, before the ad hoc committee. It is interesting because, when Teffo comes up with this, it really will throw the spotlight. I think the most important thing about Teffo's testimony or appearance before the ad hoc committee is that it will throw a spotlight on what is happening in the Senzo Meyiwa trial. The existence of two parallel dockets pursued by two sets of police officers operating out of the same Fosoras police station and investigating one murder, the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. So Teffo is likely to, stir up some kind of hornet's nest here. And it is very interesting and a very important development that Teffo has finally, or will finally come forward. And we'll see how he fares before this committee and how it goes. Because you see, I've always said that Teffo has got all this information, but it must come out into the public domain or into the public sphere. So if it comes before Parliament, it will throw light on what is going on in the Senzo Meyiwa trial, and probably that will catapult him to appear in the trial itself. But his appearance before the ad hoc committee gives South Africa an opportunity to establish the veracity of whatever claims that he has been making. So let us see how Teffo, ends up before that committee and makes those, disclosures, which I said are going to be seismic. The committee will meet again tomorrow in the afternoon. They are still looking at a few logistics of how they'll be calling all these witnesses, and so the hearing before the committee have not begun proper. So his sitting has been postponed to tomorrow afternoon, Friday afternoon, and we'll see how it goes from there. Having said that, let me thank you for watching this video. Let me thank you for all the subscriptions and the likes that I'm seeing, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.